Head coach Mike Turk enters his 14th season for the Hawks after a 2016 that included a 9-2 overall record, but also a 6-1 conference record good for a trip to the postseason. Huntingdon now has their sights set on their third consecutive conference title in 2017.
Having graduated 30 guys off last year's team makes it very difficult. We got a lot of guys back. The reality is that most of them haven't played a lot. You lose a lot of guys, especially up front on the defensive side of the ball. We lost a lot of wide receivers, a lot of production on our offense. Our starting quarterback, who was the offensive player of the year in the league last year, and so our challenges are many. As a football team, we got our punter and kicker back, which is always good. And like I said, we got some guys back. We're going to have to grow up in a hurry. We got a lot of young players that, and in some cases, guys that are not so young, they just haven't played a whole lot because of, there was a guy ahead of them that was an established player for several years. So it's going to be challenging. We're excited about the challenge. It's a different kind of challenge for us than we faced a year ago. But looking forward to it.
With the loss of nearly 30 seniors from the 2016 season, including starting quarterback and USA South Offensive Player of the Year Luke Bailey and two-time All-Conference honoree linebacker Heath McCray, the Hawks will now look to their returning core for leadership on the field.
You lose guys like that. They were a special group, and they really committed to each other when they were young and stuck together. So the void that they leave is going to be difficult for us to fill. Now we've got guys that we feel good about. We got some young players, and in some cases, like Chip Taylor's case, a guy that's been here for 3 years has been a backup and learning what to do and all that. The reality is they're in some cases going to be very inexperienced. So I think it's important for us to, early on, especially in training camp, try to a lot of full speed stuff. We're going to try to put as much pressure in as many game-like situations as we can on as many of our guys as we possibly can, for obvious reasons. And the faster we grow up, the more we'll learn about where we're going to be. But it's certainly going to be challenging for us this fall.
In a conference that sits wide open after an offseason full of change, Huntingdon looks to defend their 2015 and 2016 titles heading into the current season with a new team makeup of their own, but this wouldn't be the first significant roster transition for the program heading into a new season.
We're very actually honored to be the two-time defending champion. A lot went into that, and it wasn't easy. They were both had their own set of struggles, but we were able to accomplish both of them, and they both were special. I have learned enough about our league and about the other coaches in this league to know that there's not a sense of reloading going on that is going to be it's going to be tough. And I know that everyone else is better, and I know that having lost 30 seniors off our team. Obviously, it's going to be tough for us to be better, but that's our challenge, and so that's where we're going to, kind of emphasize things during training camp. But there is a constant mentality of reloading, because if you don't do that every single year with your recruiting class, you're going to be in trouble. But it's not a situation where I think that we're just going to throw our hat out on the field and be the best team either. We got a lot to do between now and then to get all that sorted out.
Junior receiver Otis Porter looks to make an impact on offense this year after a 2016 season that included 832 yards with 7 touchdowns and a spot on the USA South second team All-Conference honors list.
Otis Porter was a guy that, last year coming into the season, he had not played any varsity ball for us and really wasn't a really good player in our JV program as a freshman, and so he really emerged out of nowhere last year, and he had a really good training camp. But in the first game of the season, he caught 4 balls, and 2 of those were touchdowns, and 2 of those were third down conversions. And so he kind of convinced us right away that he was going to be a force to be reckoned with. And he was a very solid and dependable guy for us all year. Obviously, he's our most experienced and highest production guy returning. So certainly a guy that we're going to depend greatly on this fall.
Also a member of the USA South second-team All-Conference honors list was Hawks defensive back Anthony Wood. Wood was a quiet threat last year, pulling down 3 interceptions in 11 games and adding 50 total tackles.
Anthony Wood is one of the best kids you'll ever meet. He's a very solid citizen, a good leader for us, a quiet guy, but certainly a lead by example kind of guy. But as good a player as we've had in the secondary, and that's saying something. The guy understands his role back there. He knows what is expected of him as far as the plays he needs to make, but also with the communication and making sure that we're on the same page across the board. His responsibility is great. And, there's some guys that you worry about in those type situations, but Anthony Wood is as solid a guy and as dependable a guy back there as we've ever had, and I'm thankful that we have him. He's probably a better kid than any other football player, and that's saying something.
Huntingdon enters the season tied as the preseason #1 pick for the 2017 season and will kick off the year September 2nd at home against Gulford.